episode 50 of the Scr1tno Podcast. My name is Laura. Today is Sunday, the 15th of September 2019, and I am coming to you from Lowestoft in the United Kingdom. Literally the bit that sticks furthest out to the east into the sea, furthest away from anybody. And welcome to the Scr1tno Podcast. Episode 50! How did we get here? This has been 50 episodes of me ranting on about my knitting. Please excuse the hair, which is wet because I've had a shower, and the angle, which is you're on my bed. I have really, if you haven't watched before, I am 26 weeks pregnant now, and my pelvis hates me. I had pelvic girdle pain with my little girl, and I'm getting it again now with my little boy, and it is not a pretty thing. Basically, when I walk around, I'm only really comfortable if I'm walking like I've been sat on a horse for too long. Which also conveniently looks like I have pooed myself. So, life is glam, but I feel like sitting on my bed cross-legged is definitely the most comfortable thing for me to do. So here I am, sitting on my bed with my freshly washed hair, no makeup face, at an angle that shows all the chins. It's beautiful. Anyway, I live here with my husband and my coming up for 3 years old. She'll be 3 in January. 3-year-old little girl, 2.5-year-old little girl, and a cat who is blessedly no longer interested in yarn now that she is in her very old age. And I haven't recorded a proper podcast in a few weeks because last weekend I was at Perth, and there should now be a few videos up that have all of my experiences of Perth on it. And then the weekend before that I was at the Southern Wool Show, and I didn't get home until quite late in the evening and just completely crashed because it was late. I've been travelling 400-mile round trip or whatever it was. Yeah, so it is a long way, and I was tired. It was brilliant, but I was tired. So hopefully all of those bits and bobs should be up on YouTube now, and I can do finally a catch up. I have a few finished objects because it has been a few weeks. 2 of those finished objects are not with me. Oh, before I get into finished objects, actually let's do the admin things because I always forget and then have to go back. First thing is, you can find me on Instagram as the Scr1tno, on Ravelry as the Scr1tno2, and my patterns on Ravelry as well. I have a Facebook group that I am often not in because I am a very bad Facebooker, but it is shared with Katie of the Geordie Podcast, and she is a very good Facebooker and spends a lot more time in there than I do. I need to get back in there because I do love it. I just need to get back in there. It is a lovely group. It is called Knit Along with Geordie Knits and the Scr1tno, and we do quarterly knit alongs. So at the moment we have one going until the end of September, which is a shawl knit along, and then we will start the carry knit along or carry along. I can't remember what it was called, but basically we are doing a carry Westman knit along for the last quarter of the year to knit any of her patterns, and we draw prizes for those at the end of the 3 months. So that's that. And I did mention before that on episode 50 I would potentially have a giveaway. Maybe. I was thinking about it because I wasn't going to do my next giveaway until I got to 750 subscribers. But as it was episode 50, a little bit of me felt like I wanted to do something. I was humming and hawing about it. But my lovely friend Gemma of the Project Bag podcast has had someone, I think the deal is that someone has gifted or is going to gift a copy of the very amazing Lara's Legacy socks to one of my podcast viewers as a prize, because they would like to donate and buy one of the copies of the sock pattern. So she has said, lovely Gemma has said, would I like to give it away on my podcast? And I would be absolutely honoured. So I'm going to open a thread on Ravelry because it's the easiest place for me to do it. So in my Ravelry group, which is the Lonely Knitter podcast group, there will be a thread for this giveaway, and all you have to do is go in there and what should we have as a little comment? Just go in there and comment what colour you would like to knit the Laura's Legacy socks out of if you're going to knit them. I will talk a bit more about it in a minute because I have a pair to show you. So yeah, let me get on to finished objects. So the first thing that I have with me that I have finished are the Laura's Legacy socks. I finished two other things. The first thing I finished on the way to the Southern Wool Show, so a couple of weeks ago now, and that was a pair of vanilla tube socks for my friend Sharon of the Scr1tno Podcast, and I gave her, it was a Family Tree Yarns sock set, not Family Tree, what am I on about? It was a Lay Family Yarn sock set, but not the 50-20, it was the 120 gram set. And I have two of them, so I'm going to knit myself a pair at some point as well to match hers. But I just did a 10 round rib in the contrasting green mini, and then it was the winter solstice set, and I knit the tube like 110 rounds I think, and then put a toe on the end, and gave her the leftover main yarn and the leftover mini yarn so that hopefully whatever happened she'd have enough to put heels in. And I gave it to her at the Southern Wool Show and she was very chuffed, which was lovely. And the other thing that I have knit has been the Road to Perth shawl, so my latest design that's available on Ravelry. I would say it is a very basic shawl, but it uses 2 skeins of fingering weight yarn and it is massive. I don't know why I didn't get mine up here and show it to you, but I'm sure it is not up here, I think it's downstairs. But I've shown it before and it's really big, and there are pictures on Ravelry as well that I think show how big it is for only a 2 skein shawl, and it is knit bottom up in sections that join on, so it's not knit and then sewn together, it's all knit in one piece, but you have a section for every hour that it would take me to get to Perth, and it did take me 8 hours to get to Perth in Scotland, or just over, but it has 8 sections. So I finished that one. That was in Brambles and Me, my friend Mia's yarn, and the 2 colours that she sent me, they're a little different from the ones, well, I have a pink and a red, and she sent me the same pink and then a colour that she says is a brown and I say is a green, and we have to agree to disagree because I do appreciate that she is the dyer, so therefore she gets to say what the colour is because she made it. But my brain does not agree. Sorry, Mia. But I finished that. It was a sample for her stall at Perth, and I dropped it off to her on the Friday, the day before the Perth Festival of Yarn, so that she could put it on her mannequin and have it ready for the weekend. So you will have already seen the things that I bought if you've watched my Perth videos and when I was at the festival, and one of them was the kit for the Laura's Legacy socks. So here they are because they are finished. So the Laura's Legacy socks are a beautiful textured sock pattern with a little cable. Now these have not been blocked. I am always a bad blocker. I barely ever block socks, but I am going to because I really want to see how these change. So I meant to do them before the podcast, but then I didn't get around to it, and I thought, well, and also I did not follow the instructions on the first round here because there is one for seamless join. I think I did it a little bit better on this one, but you can definitely tell I did not do it there. But they are gorgeous socks and I need to block them, and I thought, well, I'll show you them this week like this, and then I'll show you them again next week when we draw a winner for the pattern prize, and I'll have blocked them and they'll be hopefully looking a little different. You'll be able to see the difference. So here they are. There are 2. This is in Brambles and Me Tender Heart colourway, and it was part of a kit that I bought at Perth. So the kit came with a beautiful heart progress keeper stitch marker, you know, one of the ones that has like an earring clasp, so you can use it as an ordinary stitch marker on your needle, or you can use it as a progress keeper. it came with a gorgeous heart, one of those, and the yarn, 100 grams of this yarn, and then the pattern and a little project bag. And this yarn does not contain any nylon. This is Mia's yarn, and Mia is an all natural extracts dyer. Her yarn doesn't have anything not natural in it, so there's no nylon in there at all. And the Tender Hearts colourway is named and raises money for Mia's, in memory of Mia's nephew, who very, very sadly passed away last month as a little baby. And you know, it was an absolute honour to get this yarn in my hands, know how much it meant and how much love was behind it, and to wind it up and cast it on, and to cast it on into these socks. And this sock pattern is in memory of Gemma's beautiful daughter Lara. And the Lara's Legacy socks are part of the legacy dream that Lara's family and Lara's mum Gemma have for her, for you know, to keep Lara's memory alive and to really give her a legacy. And I think it's an absolute beautiful thing to do. And Gemma's aim is to raise £1,000 with this sock pattern, and she is well on her way. If anyone would like to support her and support Lara's legacy, all you have to do is go onto Ravelry and buy the Lara's Legacy sock pattern, and all of the proceeds, all of the money made from this pattern will go to supporting the charity Bliss, so that's Lara's legacy, is that you know, in her name money is going to Bliss. Bliss is an amazing charity that helps babies and the families of babies that are born too sick too soon, and you know, we all hope that we would never need their services, but oh my gosh, if you did, I'm sure you would be absolutely thankful that that they're there for you. Members of my family have used the charity and have had a massive amount of support from the charity, and it touches a lot of us. It's not until we really start talking that you realise that you know, if you haven't been touched by health issues with pregnancy, with miscarriage, with baby loss, with sick little babies, anything like that, like if you personally haven't been touched by that yourself, you probably know at least one person that has. I have been touched by that myself, but I also know a lot of people who have also had the same things touch their lives. You know, this is not some rare thing that can just be forgotten about. You know, babies born too sick and too soon is so common, and okay, it might be going down, it needs to go down faster, it needs to be gone. And Bliss is working towards that, and I know that at least for this pattern, all of the money made from this is going directly to the research fund for Bliss. It doesn't go anywhere else. This money has been earmarked for the research fund, so it's really nice to know that you know exactly where your money is going. So if you would like the chance to win a copy of this pattern that has been donated by another member of the community, someone who has said to Gemma that they would like to pay for the sock pattern, and you know, someone else can receive it, then please do go and enter in my Ravelry group. I can't think of anything better than knitting up these socks, sharing them on social media so that other people can see them and hopefully go over and purchase the pattern and spread the word about this amazing pattern and the good work that it is doing. You know, if you can't afford to buy it, or you don't knit socks, or you know, for some reason you just weren't going to do it, first of all, if you would like to try, this is your chance to get the pattern. No one's going to know that it was gifted to you other than the people that do it. And also, it's, you know, if you don't knit socks and it's not the sort of thing you would do, if you just shared it, if one person saw it that does knit socks and fancied it and wanted to try, then you might have done a little bit of good. So yeah, this is my first finished object. And I will block them. The next finished object I probably am not going to block, because I don't usually block my socks, but those being such a lovely and intricate pattern, I really do want to see what they look like after blocking. So get my next one on the blockers. These are the Coconut Ice colourway from Dragon Hill Studios. I bought this at the Southern Wool Show and cast it on. It is a pattern. I finished this yesterday. I finished these yesterday lunchtime-ish. So they are, well, just after lunch. So these are my first finished objects during the 30 days of monogamous knitting. So Gemma, who runs the Project Bag, creator of the Lara's Legacy socks, she is running a challenge on Instagram for 30 days of monogamous knitting, which I am not very good at. I have a wardrobe full of whips, I have a space under this bed full of whips, I have whips in my downstairs cupboard under the stairs, I have whips in my living room, I have whips in my kitchen, I have some very ancient whips in my garage. There are whips everywhere. There are whips in the airing cupboard. There are whips everywhere. There's a whip down there. And I thought, well, I'm not going to stop casting things on, but it would be nice to finish a few things rather than creating more whips. So I'm going to, if I cast something new on, I will then finish it. And if some of the current whips in this house take my fancy, then I will pick them up. So I have chosen one, but we'll finish with finished objects first. These have been crumpled up in my bag, or one of them has, and the other one was finished yesterday, and yeah, they've been folded. You can tell how they've been folded down the front because they've got a line. I used a different mini, it's not a Dragon Hill Studios mini. I would have bought a mini from Dragon Hill Studios, but they had run out. This was the last ball of coconut ice on their stand when I got there on the Sunday. I was gutted. I would have loved the coconut ice and the Christmas colourway they brought out this year, because it has gold in it, and you don't get, most of the time you get like red, white and green, and this was red, green and gold. I don't think there was any white in it, and it was just beautiful. I'd seen it on their Instagram page, but they had run out on the Sunday when I went there. As soon as I got to the festival, they were my first place, but they'd run out. But they had one ball of the coconut ice colourway left, and I grabbed it, but they had already run out of the coordinating minis. So this is a Belt Fusion? Can't remember. Whoops. I have a mini skein band, but it doesn't have the company name on it. It just says it's merino nylon. So I use this not coordinating in any way mini just for the heels, because I didn't want to mess with the stripes too much. But I actually really like it. And these are my first entry into Sharon, Scr1tno, into her stripy socks knit along. She's got a stripy socks knit along going on right now. I haven't actually put them into her Ravelry group yet, but I need to. So those are done. And then the last finished object, I knit this today. I cast it on yesterday afternoon and then just finished it this evening, and a little bit of toy stuffing fluff on the outside. And it is a mini sock yarn bunny. This is a Susan B. Anderson pattern. And I don't make the pom-pom for the tail because I'm always concerned it'll come off. So I just thread some yarn and loop and loop and loop to make a little tail on the bum. And he has safety eyes and his little head, and there's his ears, and he's just very cute and very little. And I can usually make one of these from 20 grams, or less than 20 grams, like a 20 gram mini of sock yarn. I can make one of these from. This one did take a little more than 20 grams, but that is because it was from hand spun, which wasn't, I think, might have been a slightly heavier yarn in places. That is not a complaint. I have this much left. This is like 40 grams, 45 grams of hand spun fingering weight yarn. How special is this? I'm probably going to add a square to my sock yarn blanket, and then maybe something else little. Sorry, legs. But I will definitely use every little scrap of that. That is hand spun yarn from Nicola, who is so beautiful by Nicola. She makes amazing project bags. She's on Instagram and Etsy, and she's absolutely lovely, my friend Nicola. And when I bought my last project bag from her, she also sent me that skein of hand spun, which I was very, very excited to get. And yesterday, last night, just before I went to bed, I wound it into a little ball, and now this little sock yarn bunny is finished. So this is my second finished object in my whole, taking part in the 30 days of craft monogamy with the Project Bag podcast. So that is that. Next we have a hoe. So we're on to whips, really. This I finished the other day, so before the 30 days of craft monogamy started, and I put it down to finish that other Dragon Hill Studios sock, and now I am going to pick it back up and finish the other one. And this is my new project. I just cast on for the second sock, and I am not allowed to knit anything else until this sock, the second sock of this, is finished. But at least it's a sock. Today was quite hard. I went out with this in my little knitting bag. For this project, I used this little bag. It is a Jibby Rousseau's very small bag, but it fit in perfectly actually. It also has my notions case in here and the rest of the yarn, and it's my little notepad and clipboard, like stationery bag, which I love, and they put these tassels on, which is also amazing. And yeah, so this is truly hooked, and as you can probably see, I do put stitch markers in now to mark how many. I put them in every 10 rounds normally down the leg and the foot, but on this one I only did it on the front, and you probably can't see them because they're blending in, but they are pink and then like a light blue. So I'm trying to coordinate my stitch markers at the moment with my socks. So these minis I bought at the Southern Wool Show. Feeling quite good about the fact that I bought yarn not that long ago and I am already using it up. I bought I bought 5 minis, and they had like a pick and mix thing, so with bags, and I put 5 minis into a bag, and one of them I used for the toes and the cuffs. One of them I used just for the heels, and then the other 3 I used in 3 round stripes across the whole of the sock. So 1 stripy sock, and they are stripy because, yeah, well, you can see they're stripy because I've striped them. This sock is an entry into Sharon's stripy sock. Once the other one is finished, it will be an entry into the stripy sock knit along, but it will also be my first monster sock. So the Monster Socks Cal is going on Instagram now, and this is my first one of those. So I've used 5 20-gram scrappy minis to make up some scrappy socks. Those are living in my Jibby Rousseau's, Jibby Rousseau's bag. It's all Jibby Rousseau's at the moment. I don't think I've shown this, so I'm going to keep this and show it to you at the end. And so that's it for whips, because 30 days of craft monogamy. But I have queued a whip. I'm not sure if this will be my next whip because I might need a sock to hang around with. This is where the craft monogamy does get difficult, because I often go out with my little girl. So today we went to the zoo and I had the sock yarn bunny. Now it's small, so it's fine, but it was fiddly, so it wasn't that fine, and I didn't knit as much as I normally would. I still knit while we were sat having our lunch, and a couple of times I stayed with the pushchair and let my husband take her into things like enclosures and stuff rather than me. So I then got a few rounds done, but with a sock I can have it going at any 10 seconds I can get a few stitches done, and that's how my things build up. So if I start working on a bigger project during craft monogamy, then it's not going to be as portable and it's not going to be as easy for me to get my knitting time in it is what keeps me sane. That is not a lie. I need it at all times. It is my comfort blanket, it's my crutch. So it is a hard decision to pick a larger item. Okay, it's an Instagram challenge. I can bend the rules if I want to, or make my own rules if I really want to, and have a sock on the go separately from the actual challenge and just say, well, this sock is for when I'm out. But I kind of like the idea of not cheating on this one and doing it 100% properly. So I'm going to knit this next, then I will decide what to do next. But at the moment I am thinking that this needs to get finished. This is a massive project. This is, well, it's not massive because it's not a sweater for me, it's smaller than me, but it is a flax in drops Nepal, and I think I might have a very slight alpaca irritation. I'm not going to say allergy, just irritation. Wool doesn't bother me at all, but alpaca, especially when I was knitting my flax and then my little girl's flax, which were both in drops Nepal, which have both gone in the bin after my husband felted them without, like, beyond repair. But my dear friend, I have a lovely friend, she bought this yarn, gave it to me and asked me to knit her a flax, and I have only done like this much of the yoke, and I feel awful because she is a very dear friend who would do anything for me. She'd do anything for anyone. She's absolutely lovely. It was fine when we were coming into summer, and I was like, oh, it's probably going to be finished for the winter. Now we are coming into the cooler weather, and it's not even a little bit near finished. So I actually know that having that out of my wardrobe and having it finished would take a lot of stress and pressure off of my brain. And actually I might feel amazing if it was done and if I could hand that to her. So I think that might be my next thing. I really don't want it to be, because I like little projects, I like accessories, I like things that get done fast. Saving grace is she is at least smaller, like in real life she has to be at least 5 dress sizes smaller than me. She is a very fit woman. You know, there's no way she is my size, but she did want it oversized just a little bit because she wanted it to be slightly baggy. It's still a lot smaller than my size, so you know, it could be like knitting my flax all over again. It will be less work than that. I just have to keep thinking it and plough through really fast and try not to get irritated too much by the alpaca. So that's everything width-wise, and now I am on to stash enhancement. So there are a few things that weren't shown in my Southern Wool Show clip and weren't shown in my Perth Festival of Yarn haul. I kept them separate because they weren't anything to do with that, and yeah. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this bag. This is my Bathing Beauties bag. You may well have seen it on my vlog, because I've been like cutting it around, or on my Instagram. GB Rousseau's, not only do they make incredibly affordable bags, and I don't mind paying more money for bags, and I have very recently paid more money for bags. I'm itching, it's the alpaca already and I'm itching. But they do also make very affordable bags, which is absolutely lovely. And I really wanted, I'd seen an American shop with this fabric, and I cannot, first of all, the bag price was absolutely fine, no issue at all. Delivery was quite expensive because it is more expensive to get stuff delivered over to the UK than if you were going US to US. But also then I'm going to be hit by customs, so that's like 20%, and that's not just 20% of the purchase price, it is also this 20% of the purchase price and delivery price combined. And then on top of that you then pay another £8 Royal Mail handling fee, and this bag was getting to over £50 for a sock size bag, and I just couldn't justify it. And then I had one of my friends on Instagram said, why don't you message GB Rousseau's, because they have sourced fabric for me before. And I was like, that is a brilliant idea. So I messaged them almost instantly. They had sourced the fabric, bought it in, and I got 2 bags. I've left one of them downstairs, but they are both about the same size. This is a drawstring bag, the other one is a zip bag. Neither of them have handles, they're just a nice basic They do have a box bottom, and then the inside on both of them is the same. The lining is lovely, and then this one they have these Jimmy Rousseau's tags. So nice and basic, but this one has just lived with me for the last week and a half. I paid for 2 bags, and I would say this is bigger than a sock size bag because I can get 2 skein project in here easily. So for 2 bags, 1 drawstring, 1 zipper, delivery UK to UK, in a fabric that was sourced specifically for me, £17.10 I think I paid. So incredibly good value, and I got exactly the fabric I wanted. I am so happy to have larger ladies on a gorgeous feminine project bag where it is just beautiful. I love it. Like, I feel like I would definitely never wear a 2-piece swimsuit, but this woman is giving me the confidence. She looks like she's ballet posing happy about it. I am more of a 1-piece with a skirt, you know, like a swim dress. But I don't know, having a bag like this kind of makes me feel like I could rock a swimsuit that didn't have a massive skirt, right? Because they just look gorgeous. So yeah, I got 2 of those bags. That was a few weeks ago now. Next thing I got on the day of the Southern Wool Show, but it was not a Southern Wool Show purchase. This was a gift from a lovely friend. My friend Charlie, she is the dyer behind Noodle Soup Yarns. I've shown some of her yarn in the past. I have some of her yarn in stash, and some of it I'm hoping, one skein in particular, I want to knit this month because it would fit in with a knit along I want to do. So you'll probably be seeing some very soon. But Charlie had heard me whinge before about not having a Swift, not currently having it in my budget to get a Swift, and then when I did have it in my budget to get a Swift, I picked yarn instead. And how every time I wind yarn, I lay the skein across my lap and then very slowly crank it onto my ball winder, and quite often end in a tangle. Well, she messaged me and was like, I have one. This is a while ago. I think she said that she had one going spare, and I was like, it's fine, I'll sort it at some point. And then she messaged me again, and in the end she made me not feel guilty at all, because she said, I don't like to knit baby things. There's a spider on my curtain. It's not a very big spider. You know when they just move fast? It's going to disappear in a minute. That one will crawl into my mouth later while I'm asleep. Anyway, well, I can't see it anymore. So she said, I don't really like to knit baby things, so this can be your, like, happy baby present. So I'm well happy with that. I was literally beaming. I did not think it would be this pretty. It is this gorgeous wooden Swift. It has a heavy flat bottom. I know she had said before that she needed to, like, hold it in place when she was winding. She is obviously doing a lot more heavy duty things because she is winding up lots of, like, cakes of yarn and skeins of yarn and rescanning stuff, and as part of a dyeing business. But for me, with just winding up a skein of sock yarn every time I want to use one, I've wound quite a few things using this now. It doesn't wobble or move at all for me. It's perfect. It's only fallen over once when I've been winding, and that was because Ellie was spinning it for me and she got a bit vigorous. So it's a yarn brand, the one that I can never say, but like I always want to call it Sheepshies or Sheepies, but I know it is not that. But this brand, is that going to focus? And it is a beautiful wood, and it's been living in the living room on the unit where the TV lives. I mean, look at it, and then you move this up and it's got like a big wooden screw and you screw it in, and yeah. It's the same style as my old one that died, but my old one was the plastic and metal with the blue bits on it. It's been living in the living room on the bookcase that the TV sits on, in like full view, like ornamental in the room. But my husband hasn't moaned about it once, which means he is not offended by the look of it, which means I might be getting somewhere with the whole yarn ornament thing, because my vase with all the minis in has made its way back up to our bedroom when I did have it in the living room pride of place. So, you know, I'm working on him. Anyway, my next stash enhancement thing is a lovely gift from a friend. It is one of these, like, does anybody else love IKEA clip lock bags? I don't have any, apart from like when someone gifts me stuff in one. I love them. Like, it's a long way to go to get to IKEA, and I feel like I don't want to order online and pay the postage just for clip lock bags, but I love them. Anyway, I have made a new friend, the lovely Katie. She is the moderator on Scr1tno's Ravelry group, and I had gone to the Southern Wool Show with Sharon, and she had mentioned that her moderator lived sort of the same neck of the woods as me. And then she said, you know, and she was buying a little present for, not a little, a really nice present, for the lovely Katie. And I said, well, how close to me? You know, could I drop it off rather than you posting it? And she said, this place, because I'm obviously not going to tell you where Katie lives. And I was like, it's just over 10 miles from me, and I go there every week for an activity that I do with my daughter, or I go like round the corner from there. And so I dropped it off, and the lovely Katie gave me these minis to go in my Cozy Memories blanket. How gorgeous are these? They are absolutely beautiful. This one is my favourite, closely followed by this one, but they are all absolutely lovely. So thank you so much, Katie, and I was ridiculously excited to make a knitty friend. I feel like I know this one. I feel like I might have, it might be a hand-dyed one, in which case I have no idea, but if this is a commercial sock yarn, then I have one very similar. It looks like a hand-dyed actually, I'll take that back. Anyway, I don't know what any of them are, they are just beautiful. But it was quite nice to realise that I had a proper yarny friend who lives that close as well. So we're definitely going to be meeting up and doing things in the future, which is so nice. She's absolutely lovely, and she's invited me round. So as soon as I can ditch my toddler, because trying to knit with the toddler So the last thing that I got this week, I'm not going to get out of the bag. I fell down in my local yarn store. So the yarn store that is closest to me, they don't sell any dyed yarn, but they do sell a lot of commercial yarn, and I needed some safety eyes for my sock yarn bunny, and I had a slight falling down. I went in just for safety eyes. I went in 10 minutes before they shut on Saturday, so yesterday, and I was like, I'm just going in for safety eyes. 2 minutes. I did get safety eyes. I remembered them just before I walked out of the shop. I also got this. So this is the start here. Head over heels, Stylecraft, just commercial sock yarn. I just loved the colours, and I haven't got this one. So I thought, well, I'll add that to my sock yarn stash. This one is a Rico Baby, So Soft Print DK, and it is anti-pilling apparently. I'm sure it'll be mostly acrylic if it's not 100% acrylic. No idea, but I can't see, and I'm not getting this whole bag out. But it is this stripy blues and creams and a bit of a sandy yellowy colour. So that one is going to be a baby vest, I think. This is 4 balls of Stylecraft Special DK, 2 of each colour. That is to knit up. I have a shawl pattern that is waiting to be released. I have a lot of anxiety at the moment about my new designs going out. Not so much socks, I'm used to socks, but bigger designs make me quite anxious. So the shawl that is waiting to be it has had one person test it already, but have a little bit more testing done, the last final touches to the pattern. I just want to knit another one. Ellie has formed a bit of a love for this pattern, for this shawl, and I don't want her to have it. That one's mine, but and she spills a lot of food. So I am going to knit her one in the Spearmint and the Empire, Spearmint and Empire Stylecraft DK, that she can run around with outside to her heart's content, and if it gets, you know, chewed up and covered in stuff, then I can just bung it in the wash and it'll let me have the chance to test the pattern again. And then this one is Stylecraft Special Aran, and I was going to knit a hat. I have a design in my head for something a little bit different for a hat for Ellie for this winter, and then I thought, well, actually I could grade it and do it all the way through newborn to you know, adult, and make myself a matching one potentially. But now I'm going to be testing, I won't say anything about it until I get the pattern, but I should be testing a children's hat and mitten set by a lovely friend, and that would be the right weight yarn for that as well. So I might put off my idea for a little while, at least until this 30 days of craft monogamy has finished, and also just think about it more and plan it out a little bit more before I commit to it. And actually, after I finish this sock, that hat and mitt set that I'm going to be testing might be the next project, rather than this sweater, which I will leave out right here next to my bed where I can see it lots, so I won't forget about it. But I need to get that done, and that sweater will take quite a long time, so I think that will be the next thing. So yeah, that's everything for stash enhancement. So we're past 40 minutes already. Where did that go? I felt like I was being really quick. Lots of little things been going on. I have had a week of holiday after coming back from Perth. We didn't come back from Perth until the Tuesday. We had a fun, we had a little bit of fun in Scotland first, and spent some time with Chris's granddad, who lives up there, who we don't get to see very often. And yeah, just had a bit of a family time, and then came back. And then this week Chris went back to work, so he worked Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but me and Ellie have just seen her little friends and done play dates with her little friends, and that's about it really. She went back to swimming last week, and she's had 2 swimming lessons now since the summer holidays finished, and she has gained this confidence that she never had before. I think I've talked about it before, like there was one week where I cried in the changing room afterwards because she had been so awful in the water, and I just wanted to give it up, but everyone kept telling me not to give it up. Well, we've gone back after the summer holidays, and we went to get in the pool. As soon as they put a woggle around her front, she turned around and said, "Mummy, get off, I swim on my own." And every time I reached to help her, because I was worried that she might drown, because I go in the pool with her, she turned around and went, "No, Mummy, I do it my own." So I have raised a Miss Independent now. She told the swimming teacher, we got in the pool, and the first thing she did was go, "I use a big girl toilet and a potty now." So I do think she has equated that with, you know, being grown up and doing certain things, because she let me use the hairdryer on her this week, which used to make her cry, up until like a week ago made her cry. Hand dryers still make her cry, but you know, swings and roundabouts, we'll get her eventually. But yeah, she swims on her own now. She's pretty much potty trained. We have the odd accident when she's very tired, but other than that, she'll even pull it, like in the morning, she'll pull a nappy down to go to the toilet, or pull up, whatever. So yeah, we've done lots of little bits this week, and I'm back to work tomorrow. But Chris's family, I usually have her, they are busy this week, and Chris has taken tomorrow and Tuesday off so that I don't have to use, so that he uses some holiday days instead of me. I got holiday last week, but I couldn't get holiday this week, so he is having a couple of days off with Ellie, and then I'll be back home Wednesday with her. think that's about it. I've literally got nothing going on. I've barely watched any podcasts this week because I watched Katie, Geordie Knits. I have an episode of Sharon, Scr1tno, to watch. But I've been watching Downton Abbey. I have a Hairy Sheep episode. I'm sure I have a Hairy Sheep episode to watch. I've been watching Downton Abbey. I decided that I'm going to go to the cinema alone because no one wants to see it with me, and I am a grown woman and I can take my knitting. It probably won't be this month. I'll probably end up going next month, which will be fine because it'll be dead. But I want to see the new Downton Abbey movie, and I thought, well, I will watch every single episode first, and it's all on Prime, so I have binged watched Downton Abbey. I say binge watched. It's been on in the background in the evenings and when I have been like loading the dishwasher and things like that, because obviously I have had a toddler around. I watched it right from the start though, like right from, it's been a few weeks actually since I last saw you, so I've been watching it for a few weeks now, but right from the start, first episode all the way through, and I'm now on the last episode, and it's lovely. It's really nice, so it'd be quite nice to see the film. I also really want to see the second chapter of It, that new film, but again, have no one to go with, and I think potentially seeing that one on my own might be too scary. We'll see. I'll see what other people think, like who have been before I go. And yeah, I mean, lots of little things have happened in the last few weeks, like stuff on Instagram. I feel like a day doesn't go by without something shitty happening on Instagram. Oh, I'm losing my voice. I don't know, the person I think I'm feeling most disappointed with recently has been Caitlin Hunter, Boylan Knitworks. I have started to knit some of her patterns. I have a Tanya that is very close to being finished in my giant scary whip cupboard. I have other patterns. I've bought a lot of patterns of hers, but I have other ones of hers cast on that aren't very far through, that aren't an issue to whip out. But like whips that I'm not probably ever going to carry on with. But the Tanya I was definitely going to finish, and I probably still am. It's very close to being done, and I paid for the pattern, but I'm not sure I would buy another one of her patterns now if she doesn't say something. I don't know. I've just been really disappointed with some of the reactions that she's had on Instagram. I am fully aware that Instagram isn't always real life for some people, and that they don't, you know, it only shows a very small section of someone's life, and, you know, it's not, who am I to judge? But at the same time, I am the one to choose where I put my money and who I support, and I don't know, I've just been a bit shocked recently by some of the things said. I unfollowed her when everything kicked off a while ago with her having blocked one of her customers who happened to be a person of colour who is an activist, and she blocked them just for no reason, and well, she'll have had a reason, but she chose not to share that reason, and then did not give very satisfactory responses, like wasn't that bothered. So I unfollowed then because I just was like, oh, I just don't need to, nah. But apparently her account has been deactivated today. I don't know what's going on there. Like, I just, you know, like when something problematic happens or is said, like I really do feel like everyone should have the chance to, if they want to, make it right and like fix it. And who am I to say when someone's work is or isn't good enough? But when people are in a stage of like denial or like saying, you know, asking for basically people to pity them when they've done something harmful to someone else, I just feel like I do not have the time here or the effort to give. I just want to close this little area, and if, you know, like I'll say my piece, I'll say my views, but I feel like I just want to go, right, you're not having any more of my time, financial support if you're a pattern designer or a dyer or whatever. I just want to say, like if you're going to put those views out onto the internet, out into the world, and make someone feel less than they are, then I'm going to withdraw my support. I'm going to withdraw my money. I'm not going to be paying you any more money, and I'm going to unfollow you. And that's, and I might well comment and say why I am doing it if I want to, but I'm not going to support that kind of behaviour. But I am not going to sit there and say that if someone tries their best to fix it, that they're not worthy, that people can't change or can't make the effort or can't make things right. Because I've said things in the past not related to like anything, like I've hurt people's feelings before, and I just want to fix it. And luckily so far, anytime I've said something that I haven't really thought about first that might have hurt someone, when they have called me out on it, I have taken that as a blessing that they feel able to speak to me and help me fix that thing, and we've been able to then go forward, and hopefully I've been able to fix some of the damage that I've made. I just don't understand why everyone doesn't feel like that. I don't understand why people who are told that they are causing pain and hurt don't turn around and say, oh my gosh, I am so sorry, that was never my intention, but I realise intent is not going to wipe away the pain. Please let me make up for it. I'm rambling, it's late. I've definitely said all this before, and I'm definitely rambling over it again. I just feel like every day I look at Instagram and someone has been a dick. Got my little badge. Still on my lanyard. Come on, folks. Don't be a dick. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go to bed because I'm knackered, and I'm recording this in the bedroom, which means my husband is downstairs sitting there thinking, is it safe to go up here? So I'm going to curl up in the bed and go to sleep. So I am tired. And if you have got all the way through to like 52.5 minutes of me jibber-jabbing on, then thank you so much. I will see you next week. And hopefully I have a finished sock, because this is all I am allowed to work on until it is finished. And yeah, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for, as always, making me so much less of a lonely knitter.